Isn't it just great? I got the RAM installed. Now, I'm still not sure about dual channel memory, so that's what we're gonna figure out now, I guess. Marcus. Wow. Marcus. Oh, let's see. Dual channel memory is next. I want to check on my motherboard though. Like, so I think I'm just gonna follow the guide actually. For this purpose. So yeah. Because like if you look at like the thing, you notice how like B1 and B2 are the same, and then A1 and A2 are probably those two over here. So if you think about it from that way, like yeah, if we insert one in each of these, then that makes a dual channel list. You know, that's one channel, that's another channel. So if we insert one in each of these, that means that we're inserting one in that means that it's going to run in dual channel. Whereas if we just insert them in here, it's only going to be running in a single channel, you know, if you look at like our like this is one channel here, you know, and this is another channel, so we have to insert like this and this to get both channels. So yeah. So I'm just gonna follow the guide. Give me a second. So yeah, I think we're good here now. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to install here and here.
First, I'm going to have you install the memory to the second and fourth slot for dual channel memory support. Those are the slots that are a little bit further away from the CPU socket. But again, that's not universal, so double check your memory stick. Align the two sides with the notches so it drops straight down and rests. And then this does take a little bit of pressure until it snaps into place.
Give me a second.
satisfying. This does take a little bit of pressure to get them to snap, but as long as you're pushing down evenly on both sides, we're going to apply firm, even pressure until it snaps into place. It's pretty satisfying. This does take a little bit of pressure to get them to snap, but as long as you're pushing down evenly on both sides, and with this setup, top of this, the memory is definitely going to be, it's not in the middle. Put the label on the side, the 5th and 4th slot for dual channel memory. And then most motherboards are going to have you install the memory to the 2nd and 4th slot for dual channel memory support. Those are the slots that are a little bit further away from the CPU socket. But again, that's not universal, so double check.
So yeah, I'm gonna go install it. So we have the 2nd slot and I'm gonna go ahead and install it in the in the 4th slot. Let's keep going, guys. So we have the RAM installed now. And now we're gonna install the, oh wait a minute, why is it? It's not rotation locked, it's up the correct way, what the hell? Let me rotate it and rotate it, there we go. As you can see, we have the RAM installed now. Both sticks, 16 gigabytes. So now I'm gonna put on the 2nd fan. So yeah. It's like a link. This is weird. Oh, there we go with this. Oh, there we go with this. Let me go install it now. We're gonna always check in like the BIOS, I think, if it's dual, if it is dual channel or not. So yeah. Anyways, I can throw this RAM out. This DVD packaging out. I'm gonna keep the packaging around though. Like, I'm gonna keep the packaging around, okay? Anyways, so we're gonna put on the 2nd installer.
In the back here, the fans both have cables coming out of them. Might need to be a tight. Line it up on that side, another on that side like that. And why don't we do this middle one first? We'll just slide it down in between, line it up, and they just clip on that side like that. And why don't we do this middle one first? We'll just slide it down in between, line it, this one here, second one here as well. This one. That, and we will line it up. This one might need to be a tiny bit higher because my RAM is right there, but that's okay. Back side. this side here.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the thing now. Good thing is that we have like plenty of space for our RAM, so that's good. But it is gonna be sitting a bit higher than, you know, due to the RAM, so yeah. This is the thing now that we have here. Hi. We're building PCs. Anyways, this thing is sitting a little bit higher than the other one, but that's so we have enough space for the RAM, you know, look at this. It's just sitting right above the RAM. Which is good, you know, if so, you know, we need that so we have enough space for the RAM as well. But anyways, let's keep going, I guess. I think we're done now with the
So let's do our
CPU
wiring here. So
Oh,
on
then
the
we have
back
our
here,
wiring
the
as
fans
well.
both have-
So let's do that next, I guess.
cables coming out of them that look like that. And in the box, we did get a splitter. So it's 2 down to 1 like that. And this gets connected right here to my CPU fan. So we'll go ahead and connect the wiring here. Make sure these are going on the correct direction like that.
Oh wait, it's right here. This right here. 2 to 1. Correct direction. Can you put them in the wrong direction? No, you can't. You can't put them in the wrong direction and it won't let you. There's holes at the top they have to fit into. Done. One is completely in. What's the other one? It's over here. Done. It's also completely in. So we have those two here. This connector right there. Yeah, you can see how like it's completely in. And then we have this one over here, which is also completely in. So yeah. Anyways, let's see now.
And now I have lots of cabling here if I do want to hide the cables behind on the back side of the case. And then we've got our connector here for myself. It's this one, the CPU fan. Again, make sure this is in the correct direction and we will plug it in. Like that. And
so we will be like probably taking them out at some point. Let's see. CPU fan, I think that's what it says, right? Let me get my glasses actually working. Yes, I use glasses. I mean, nobody really knows about me because I keep forgetting to actually use them. But as one of the one case is true for reading small text on the motherboard. It's actually useful to have like these good vision, you know. Oh yeah, it's a CPU fan. So yeah. Is there like they make it? I think it would be pretty difficult to plug it in the wrong direction, considering they, you know, they make it like pretty obvious which direction you're meant to put it in, you know. I really wish I had better lighting here. Like, can we get better lighting? Is that possible to get better lighting here? Like, because it would be kind of nice with, you know, some better lighting. So I can actually see what the fuck I'm doing. Let me turn my phone on. I can hear like this and then there. I cannot do it while I'm live. Oh my god, then I know.
We are done. So if this quick tutorial was like that, and we are done. So if this quick tutorial was able to help you get your thermal right, Peerless Assassin 120 SE installed on your motherboard. If this video did give you value, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also remember to connect with me on social media and subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.
So yeah, we're done now. Wow. We spent all this time just putting that one in. God damn. Anyways, let's see. What's this build for? Build being CPU installation. Stock it's DDR5 cooler. Yeah, we're done with DDR5 memory installation.
Satisfying.
But actually, like these, I'm pretty sure they make it like if you turn it the wrong way around, it will just not plug in fully. So I actually think they're like kind of like foolproof, you know, in the sense like you can't accidentally plug it in the wrong way and like give your CPU like too many watts, or like cause it to maybe not work at all, you know. So you can't accidentally create like a fire. Basically, it's foolproof. So yeah, which is good. Let's
It does take a
continue.
little bit of pressure to get him to snap.
I like how they say a little bit of pressure when I had to push down enough that it feels like you're breaking something. That's crazy. It's the same with SODIMM RAM, really. It's just SODIMM RAM, like you're just doing it on like the like front of it, like this part of it you're pushing down instead of, you know, it being the top part. Instead it's like the front facing part you're pushing down. Both are super scary and both require an unnecessary amount of pressure. So yeah.
Pushing down evenly on both sides and you have that slot line, it should pop in no problem. And now our fans for our CPU heatsink fan, we have two of these. One is going to install in between.
We're basically
the two
just gonna
towers
skip
like
all
this.
this.
And then the other one actually cap on that to prevent it from shorting. Lastly, we're going to install our M.2 NVMe, keeping the cap on that to prevent it from shorting. In. Oh, it's so easy. There we go. Then we can pop the cap off for our daisy chain to plug in the second one. And if you have another daisy chain sticking out, I recommend keeping the cap on that to prevent it from shorting. Lastly, we're going to install our M.2 NVMe SSD, but we have 3 slots on the motherboard. Are they all the same? Does it matter which slot we install? Between, and we flip on the sides in the same way. And our heatsink fan, our CPU, and our memory are now all installed. Oh, except for this part. Our 2 4-pin plugs into our splitter. And if you have RGB, now's a good time to plug it in before things get crowded in the case. We have a 3-pin addressable header right here. So we're just going to line that with the plug. So plug 1 in. Oh, it's so easy. There we go. Then we can pop the cap off for our daisy chain to plug in the second one. And if you have another daisy chain sticking out, I recommend keeping the cap on that to prevent it from shorting. Lastly, we're going to install our M.2 NVMe SSD, but we have 3 slots on the motherboard. Are they all the same? Does it matter which slot we install it to? The answer there is yes. You'll want to install it to a slot that matches the speed and the bandwidth of the SSD that you're installing. The 990 Pro is a PCI Express Gen 4 drive, and it needs a...
Alright, let me go get my SSD now. Finally done with most of the build. We have 3 parts left now. Actually, more like halfway there. We have 6 components in total. And we haven't even installed the motherboard yet, so technically also that, but that's just some screws. That's not going to be that difficult, and not going to take that long. You know. Let me get my scissors. Wait, oh my god, it opens on the side. I have to. There's something going into this one. Alright guys, you guys ready for this unboxing? I wish I had somewhere I could put this damn camera. Like... Please let me get it out. I'm just gonna try my other hand. Oh wow, here we have it. If we could get this thing out. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, I just cracked. Oh shit. Oh no. It's been sit right here, right? Yeah. At least it's like, you know, soft material, so it's fine. I think. At least this is not as expensive as the one. What's this here for? Wait a minute, I'm destroying it. What is this for? Wait a minute. Oh, it opens up. What could be inside, I wonder? Solid state drive, and this is just the manual. You guys want to know something about me? I actually collect manuals, you know, like this. You guys want to see all my manuals? I mean, I have many more now, so yeah. As let's see where we can find an SSD slot. Give me a second. Are these or are these one slots? I can't quite figure it out. I gotta go up, look up my motherboard specifications again. Give me a second. Because it will specify how you like, it will show me where like the SSD slots are. Where's my motherboard? Here we go. Okay, view all specifications. Here we go. Our motherboard. Now we go down here and we go to the where is the one finger, one hand, one step, one glance, one click. Okay, so one finger installation. Are we willing to like try this out? Oh, we probably get that with our motherboard. I don't know if It might be in the motherboard thing somewhere. I pressing accept, they won't let me watch it. No. No. So this right here must be it, right? I can't figure out how to open it though. It's locked. Annoying. I can't see it, bro. Let me watch it. One hand. The MSI motherboard comes with an antennas, external antennas. So those are antennas I guess for Wi-Fi. It has OLED, so if something goes wrong, we'll know. We'll know. Game boost. Okay. I gotta go search this up on YouTube, I think. Because some motherboards are kind of weird when it comes to installation, when it comes to like installing SSDs, I think.
You have an MSI Mag B550 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi motherboard, and you're trying to install an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. Let me show you how. So if you're only installing one SSD, it actually has a very nice toolless design. You just grab this clip over here and pull it, right? Make sure to hold the motherboard down so it doesn't move, and then you can go ahead and lift this up. You have to remove this little clear film here so that you can apply the thermal pad. The SSD goes in very easily. It just goes in like this at the slot. You want to go slightly at an angle, push it in all the way, make sure it clicks, and then you just push this down. And you can see it gets caught on this. This thing is spring loaded. So if you want to take it out, all you got to do is swing this thing over to the side, pops up, and you can go ahead and pull the SSD out. If you need help putting it back, you see these two notches here, those line up with those divots. So just line that up, slide it into place, and then drop this down and click that into place. If you want to install the other SSDs, you have these. So we're going to go ahead and remove all these screws using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. Okay, so we'll undo these screws here. Okay. You have to undo the screw a little bit and then do the other one because the screws side by side, they hold each other down. Oh, actually that screw came out all the way. Interesting. Okay, so these screws came out all the way. Get this guy out. All right, so now that we got those four out, we should be able to lift this up. And you can actually see there's two more slots over here for SSDs. There's more thermal pads here, so make sure you remove those as well.
Kind of crazy that like the SSDs come, the motherboard comes with thermal pads for the SSDs. You know? Oh well. Well, let's see. Let's go back to the other video, I guess.
SSD.
A buy for connection. So if you remember, both our PCI Express slots and our M.2 slots use PCI Express lanes. If you remember, this top slot here is a by 16 connection, so it has 16 lanes. We want an M.2 slot with 4 lanes that is Gen 4 compatible.
I'm gonna go look up. I'm pretty sure this is latest spec SSD. So yeah. Just in case, let's go up and look up like Samsung. Let me flip it around so I can actually see its specs. Samsung 990 Evo Plus. PCI 5.0x2. What the fuck has two interfaces? What does that mean? I'm just gonna find the 5.0x2 since that's the latest interface. I have to bring my motherboard spec. I have my motherboard specs here. Let's see. So my issue now becomes like, how are we gonna? I need to get the damn. It doesn't tell me like what the specs are of it. Let me go into site again so I can see from it. But that won't help me because I don't know which slot it is. It doesn't tell you that. Manual. Let's open up the manual again. Alright, let me remove the SSD out of the way so we can have a look. So this is the manual right here. This is for CPU. I'm looking for table of contents. Quick start. SATA hard disk. There's no SSDs here. As let's see, specifications. Expansion slots. I'm looking for like the SSD stuff. Here we go. Expansion slots. So the one closest to the CPU is the PCI 5.0 X16. That'll probably be fine, I would imagine. It's the fastest PCI slot here. So yeah, the others are too old and won't match with the SSD's PCI version. So wait, no, these are not memory. That's graphics cards. Yeah, and storage. I mean, yeah, no. Where is the SSD one? Where's the SSD one? Why can I not find the SSD one? Are you kidding me? M.2 slots is right underneath. Here we go. M.2, there's 4 slots in total. There's bugs on my monitor for some reason. I don't know why. I think I need to clean my monitor. It's to prevent damage. Heatsink restrictions. We don't have any heat sinks. They don't say anything key M. This is the DIMM RAM sticks, and right on the other side, actually next to the CPU here, but a bit below the CPU. So this one right here, in that case, is our one. That's not really helpful. It's just listing them. It does not list the specs here. Maybe the maybe if I go in here, I can find it. Specifications. Let's see. It has double channel support and AMD Expo technology, so that's nice. Two M.2. I keep forgetting what's the difference between like key M and key S. Ah, okay, so key E are used for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but key M slots are for M.2, and they're high speed. So, yeah, in this case, we only will care about the M.2. Also, we have two M.2 slots, actually 3 M key ones, but still it's not list the speed. So I'm just gonna plug it into the one of them. I think. I don't think it matters like a huge amount which one you plug it into, so yeah. And it just sucks that there's no way I can find the specifications on them. So yeah. Not even the like site here lists. So maybe it lists it's not like the bottom. Like there should be like a specs thing. Specifications, here we go. AMD multi GPU support. AMD isn't Crossfire that though? Oh, here we go. Okay, here it says the different slots here. So M2_1 has 5.0 X4 and another slot for 4.0 X4. Oh wait, no, that's for processors, right? Okay, yeah. So for my processor, it supports up to 5.0 X4, which is the same specs as this right here. Oh no, that's X2, but I mean it shouldn't really matter. And this, wait, where am I now? Storage. Yeah, here we go. And M.2 is 4.0 X4, and 3 is 4.0 X4 as well. So yeah. So M2_1 slot is this slot right here, I think. So yeah. It lists 4 of them. But I don't know, maybe that's only on the Max keyboards. Oh yeah, we're looking at the Max specifications right here. my bad. This is just a normal one. So, yeah. The Max, I guess, has an extra slot down here. But anyways, M2_1 is this slot right here, so, yeah. I don't think that would be different between the Max and non-Max version. Hi, new guy. Anyways, let's go ahead and pop this thing up. Can I get it? Oh, here we go. This is the heatsink. Oh, I don't know if this is the heatsink. It's the thermal pad, so it doesn't overheat. Which, admittedly, like, actually, right there, it would make sense because it would be like right next to the GPU. Like, if you look, that's where the GPU is gonna go, and that's where the SSD is gonna be. So it's gonna be right next to, and then on the other side, it's gonna be next to the CPU. So it's gonna be between two really hot components. I would understand needing a heatsink then, you know. Whereas the others are like over here, you know, they're kind of far away, so they probably don't really. I don't think they would benefit as much from a heatsink because they're not like super close to any of the hot components, you know. But it's cool that it has an extra like slot, so I could technically, like, if I wanted to buy like one of those like SSD cards where like you can just like one of those cards that come with like, you know, like, I don't know, like 4 maybe more SSD slots. So if I need additional storage for whatever reason, I can just buy one of those and buy like a ton more SSDs. So yeah. It's cool that it comes with 2 PCIe slots. Anyways, let's pull off the thermal pad thing. Or the sticker here for our thermal pad. And then let's insert the SSD. Which I don't believe has any thermal pad on it, so yeah, just a sticker. I mean, I can look it up actually if it comes with a heatsink. But I have to go in and Outlook again, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Actually, I can keep this open for now. Let's see. Okay. Does that specify if it comes with a heatsink or not? It's kind of important if it does, you know, like. I may know where we can find the information we need about it. Tech power up never failed. They list PS5 compatibility on here. Wait, that SSD? These with RGB now? Damn. I can't figure it. It doesn't look like it has one. But I mean, there was also more like just in case, you know. So yeah, you know, all of our SSD slots has heat sinks, which is nice. But like only one of them probably needs it. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look like it has a heatsink because like it just looks like the sticker but with a piece of it just looks like the thing but with a sticker on top of it. It doesn't have anything additional on it. So I think we're good. I think we're good here. So anyways, let's get to installation then.
And we can reference our motherboard manual to figure that out. I like block diagrams because it shows how stuff's connected. We have the processor up here, we have the chipset here. There are some expansion slots that run through the chipset. We can actually see that our third M.2 slot here is a PCIe Gen 4 by 2. And it's going to the chipset, which is going to introduce a little bit of latency. So I would want to keep that slot open for a drive that's maybe a little bit slower, that's not going to be as mission critical as our operating system drive. Up here we can see that directly from the processor we have an M.2.1 and an M.2.2. The upper one is PCIe Gen 5 compatible and the lower one is Gen 4 compatible, and they're both a by 4 connection. Since we only need Gen 4 for this drive, I'm going to install it in the second slot. That will leave our upper slot open in case we ever do an upgrade and add a Gen 5 drive, which will make use of that connection and that bandwidth. Also, some of the PCI Express Gen 5 drives can get a little bit warmer, which is why there's a heatsink on this one up here. Fortunately, M.2 NVMe SSD installation is dead simple as long as you can locate that teeny tiny little screw that came in the accessories. The connector is keyed, so there's a little bit of a notch, and there's a notch on the slot as well. So we just install it like so. Pop. There's a notch on the slot as well. So we just install it like so. Pop. And then we lower down the other side and install our little screw. You might need a tiny screwdriver for this part.
Let's do this. We can do this with our single hand. So, in terms of actually like installing this thing, we just pop it in here. This is why a bit of lighting would have been nice, so, you know. Okay. I was like, I might actually have to quickly go and it's not because of. Let's try this anyways, see how it goes. If we get installed, we get installed, you know. How am I meant to install it when like the CPU fan is right in the way? Guess we'll just take it like down here and then go like in. There we go, I think I got it in. This scary part again, like, is it in? I mean, I can wiggle it, it's feel like it's in. I mean, it can hold itself up, so like, is that fine?
The slot as well. So we just install it like so. Up. And then we lower down the other side and install our little screw. You might need some up. And then we lower down the up slot as well. So we just install it like so. Up.
You know what? We could get better lighting in the kitchen. This is why, like, I wish we would have just done this first, you know, when it was actually like bright outside, so I didn't have to deal with it now. But I can barely see. Well, let's see. Don't we have any kind of like? I can go get a flashlight. So I got us a bike light, so we can actually see if we have inserted it properly or not. So let's pull it out really quickly. I should probably be doing this with my other hand. And then let's see if it's inserted properly. Now I actually can do that. So you notice that little like thing there is where I want to insert into. Still wiggling a little, but not that bad. Alright, I'm gonna insert it and I'm gonna pull it down. There, oh, we have the thing now, so it means that's connected now, I think. Alright, now these are spring loaded, so we should just be able to like push them down, you know, like. Come on, stop with that. Yeah, so we should just be able to like push it down. So yeah. Kind of like this video.
Notch on the slot as well. So we just install it like so. Up. And then we lower down the other side and install.
So because this is spring loaded, right, we can actually just go like. What the fuck? It's spring loaded. Give me a second, I'll watch the other video because.
See here,
Yeah.
it goes into the slot, same thing at an angle. You can go ahead and pull the SSD out. If you need help putting it back, so if you want to take it out, all you gotta do at the slot, you want to go slightly at an angle, push it in all the way, make sure it clicks, and then you just push this down and you can.
Okay, we'll just push it down then. Wait, how hard do you have to push on it? Some plastic thing there.
You see it gets caught on this. This thing is spring loaded. So if you want to take it out, all you gotta do is go slightly at an angle, push it in all the way, make sure it clicks, and then you just push this down and you can.
I'm really terrified just like with the RAM. Okay. It's not stick. What the fuck? They actually like get caught or what? But it's not all the way down, it's still wiggly. It's like, it's not there quite. You know, like, yeah, like it's meant to get caught by this thing, isn't it? Or what? Like, how does it work?
See, it gets caught on this. This thing is spring loaded. So if you want to take it out, all you got to do is swing this thing over to the side, pops up, and you can go ahead and pull the SSD out. If you need help putting it back, you see these two notches here? Those line up with those divots. So just line that up, slide it in.
I can't figure out how to like do this, man.
We are installing the Samsung 994. Like it's gonna go into the. I had to unlock this.
I got it. I mean, at least not.
Well, I mean, we could also do one of the other slots. It's just annoying that it's like spring loaded and I don't know exactly how it works. It's caught by it there again, but it's not all the way down, you know. How the fuck do I get a free from it again? Maybe we should just use the damn screws instead for this purpose. Give me a second, I'm gonna try to figure this out. Okay, we have some problems. Why they also have to get one that did not use screws, man? Why? Let's see. Let's see. How we're gonna go ahead and do this. There we go. Found this, guys. It does not do that, okay? What do you mean it? No. No. It isn't even all the way down. My stick is stuck now. Oh, my SSD storage is stuck now. Come on. Wait a minute, maybe it is meant to be like this, actually. Wait, what generation of it is it even? Yeah, it is second generation. So, like, how do I get my SSD back? Actually, yeah, it definitely is installed. Like, it's high up, but like, the slot itself is pretty high up, so that makes sense. Seems like it's installed at least. But how the fuck do I get it out again? Look at this, you know, like, I don't know, it's kind of, if you like, look, it's about like the same height as the actual port itself, you know, where you put the SSD into. That probably is a good sign that it's put in correctly. I mean, it's also caught, so it's not like it's gonna get loose. Oh, what the fuck? So how do I get it back down again? I locked it. I locked it, guys. Wait, is it this thing right here? What did I do? It's installed again, but like I'm not so confident about this thing, you know? Especially when I don't know how it works, like the guide literally just says but it is to move it somewhere else, right? That does not work. Okay, that does not work. Okay, does the other ones also have this problem? I'm not gonna take them off, but like this is the fourth. This is the fourth one on the Max that's not on there normally. It's the only one without a heatsink. I don't know if it has a heatsink. Can't figure out how this thing works. Plus, I mean, those don't have those plastic things. Mine does. Like what? god damn, you know, at this point it would be easier if they just had used screws. They tried to make things easier, but they make them more complicated because, like, this metal piece won't go away. There's just this plastic piece that I can't fucking do shit here. Oh. It's because it's an older version of the motherboard. It's using the first version. Oh my god, man. So, I don't know, but it's come with like the first version, which funnily enough, just to get access to the SSD card on that specific motherboard, you had to use a screwdriver. So, the whole screwless thing doesn't really make sense if you need a screwdriver anyways. But it doesn't really help me when it comes to like how the fuck to get this thing off, you know? Okay, let's see. I got it out. Let me turn this thing around to that side. I probably need to push down a little bit more. It's like going a little bit. What? This. This is the whole third system. What? Okay, guys. Let me show you the stupidity of this, man. Okay. So you want to see something funny, right? So, let me show you. Okay, I'm gonna turn it. It's gonna release it. I'm gonna put it back at its default position. Okay, this is where it's supposed to be, right? When you go ahead and you put it in now. I'm just gonna put this right here, right, so we can see. You're meant to push it in and then like turn this thing. So you're gonna push it in now. Turn this thing over to the other side, and boom, it's locked in place. Then you unturn it to release it. So you can like right now, it's like locked in place, right? Unturn it and it comes out. That's at least how I think it works. It's meant to go all the way onto to the other side. You know. But then basically, like, you just unturn it and eventually it comes out. And then you just put it down here. You go push it to the other side and then it's locked in place. You can't get out. And then you just start turning it until eventually it comes out. The first version, it had a clip thing that went over it. this thing like uses some auto locking mechanism because there's nothing on top of the. Yeah, now it's not locked. Obviously, I gotta relock it again. It does not have any. Oh my god, I'm just down. Never mind. It does. So it uses. So the website says it uses version 2, but it actually uses version 1. I think they updated the motherboard at some point, but I happen to get an older model of the motherboard where it still says version 1. Oh my god, that's awful. So it actually uses version 1. That's crazy. Well, at least I know how it works now, and we got the SSD installed, so that's nice. And yeah, like I mentioned, like you feel that it does not wiggle anymore. Like if the SSD was not like like connected to like whatever properly, it would like be wiggling. If it was connected properly, like I don't think it would be wiggling a ton. But like previously, it was wiggling quite badly. So I was like, it's probably not connected properly. And the entire reason why it did not work this entire time was because it was using the older version, not the newer version. So, yeah, I guess it's an older motherboard of the specific kind I got. That does not have the latest M.2 clip. So that's a bit unfortunate. I guess they updated it at some point. Which sucks, man. But we got installed. Oh, is he something funny really quickly? Oh, is he something funny? It requires screws to get access to the SSD, man. Yeah, exactly. Like that easy clip makes it so much more difficult. Oh my god, people even hate it. Like it's really bad. At least the second version is better, but none of them are particularly good, so yeah. And now I have to figure out how to get the heatsink back on. So that's gonna be fun. Let's see how we're gonna get the heatsink back on. No, I'm not looking to buy a new one. I'm looking to go on here to see like SSD. What was that previous video? I mean, I might be able to find it in my history actually. Here we go.
You
I
have an
found it.
MSI Mag B550 motherboard down so it doesn't move, and then you can go ahead, interesting, place, and then drop it back. You see these two notches here? Those line up with those divots, so just line that up, slide in 2 notches here. Those line up with those divots, so just line that up, slide it into place, and then drop this down.
Okay, that's at least pretty easy to reinstalling. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, it shows which way it's meant to go. Wait a minute. It's meant to be the other way, I think. Oh, no, yeah, this is correct. Because you see those two things there, they connect, like, right there. And what, just slide forward, I think, right? Like, my God, I'm gonna dropping it so many damn times, bro. Please. Oh, what's it the other way? Like, give me a second to watch the video.
And click that. See these two notches here? Those line up with those divots. So just line that up.
Yeah, okay, so it is like this then. Or does I have a huge fucking cooler in the way? Which makes this really hard to do. I think I did it. It's moving though. I mean, I'm like joking and right now it's not like coming off. I think it's on for good. Oh, wait, what? It's on now, okay. And then like you just pull, like, you just pull like, you just pull like in and then up to then be able to remove it. Then when it comes to installing it, you just go like that, and you can, and then it comes to like adding it back, and then you just go. Yeah, it's in place now. Made the sound, and then when you want to detach it, you just go duh, and then up, and then out. And when you reattach it again, you just go in like this, and then it seems to just reattach itself pretty easily. So you just have to press this in, up and out. Pretty straightforward, at least.
Slide it into place and then drop this down. It says the out. If you need help putting it back, you see these two notches here? Those line up with those divots. So just line that up, slide it into place, and then drop this down and click that into place. If you want to install the other SSD here, those line up with those divots. So just line that up, slide it into place, and then drop this down and click that into.
Okay, I think we have some like click up here. There's some kind of like click up thing here. It doesn't feel like it's properly in, you know. when off. Go ahead and put it in. I think it's in, like, I'm joking, I think it's not falling off. I'm just gonna say it's in because, like, it's not coming off, I'm pretty sure. It's not easily. Not at least without me, actually trying to, get it off like this. So let's just go ahead and put it back on again. Slide in. Drop it down. Let's just switch making that sound. Does it actually attach properly though? I don't know, I can't really figure this thing out. It's really annoying me. So go in here, right? Out. Drop. There we go, it made the click sound. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. It made the click sound. We're good, I think. Oh, it doesn't wiggle around as much anymore as it did before. Like, it doesn't wiggle around as much. I think it's in now. Alright, let's go. It's quite finicky how it works, actually. I forgot how this thing works, man. So it's in now. Yeah, okay, so it's in. Then we're gonna go down here. There we go. Oh, I just have to push down. Okay. Oh, okay, I got it. I just have to push down on it. Just gotta push down on it. Then it clicks into place and it won't move at all. Like, you can notice how, like, I'm like it won't move at all. Oh, okay, so you just have to click it into place, really. Like this. Then you go in, you go have it up here, right? When you push in. Then you go, and then you just go, boom. And it clicks into place. No problem now. So that's it. That's how we do this thing, so yeah. That's pretty cool, right? Nice. So yeah, anyways, let's go on to the next thing, I think. We got the M.2 SSD installed, so yeah, let's not mess with that anymore. Let's go back here.
Install our little screw. You might need a tiny screwdriver for this part, and there are some motherboards that have warmer, which is why there's a heatsink on this one up here. Fortunately, M.2 NVMe SSD installation, but that varies from motherboard to motherboard. At this point, I'm going to set up our power supply by lower down the other side and install our little screw. You might need a tiny screwdriver for this part, and there are some motherboards that have automatic retention clips that don't use a screw down on this side, but that varies from motherboard to motherboard. At this point, I'm going to set up our power supply by plugging in the modular cables that we need. The modular cables that we need are, for the motherboard, our main.
Alright. Alright. I'm gonna get the motherboard now. Oh, the power supply. Been a long night ahead of us. Long night. Ooh, it opens from the bottom. Guys, look at this. It opens from here. The bottom of it. I should probably put this back. After this, we only have the graphics card, right? Oh, it smells like... it smells like factory. Comes with these silicone packs that you should not eat. Silica packs. And a manual for me to add to my collection. And the power supply itself. I have so much stuff on my floor. Oh shit, have you seen this? I'm keeping many of these boxes around, you know.
24-pin power connector, as well as two 8-pin power connectors for our CPU. Note that the CPU 8-pin power block.
Give me a second, really quickly. Silent operation at low to moderate loads. In this mode, the fan will not spin. Okay, this is just a sticker that I can peel off. Alright, nice that it has a quiet mode, I guess. Here we have our power supply.
Can sometimes split into two, and there are some motherboards that only have a 4-pin connector for additional CPU power. Thankfully, our CPU plugs are labeled with CPU on the CPU side.
Let me go ahead and get the cable to look quickly. Power cable. We'll need that later. Test it. Oh my god, they have labels. Over there it's called type forward, no other information. But the other one's called PCIe, so that must be for, well, I guess it's PCIe stuff. There are multiple PCIe cables. PCIe. Well, this one's for the motherboard, I would guess. No, back up here, okay.
And the output that varies from motherboard to motherboard. At this point, I'm going to set up our power supply by plugging in the modular cables that we need. The modular cables that we need are, for the motherboard, our main 24-pin power connector, as well as two 8-pin power
No, don't go to some other video.
screwdriver for this part, and there are some motherboards that have automatic retention. For the motherboard, our main 24-pin motherboard to motherboard. At this point, I'm going to set up our power supply by plugging in the modular cables that we need. The modular cables that we need are, for the motherboard, our main 24-pin power little screw. Tension clips that don't use a screw down on this side, but that varies from motherboard to motherboard. At this point, I'm going to set up our power supply by plugging in the modular cables that we need. The modular cables that we need are, for the motherboard, our main 24-pin power.
Now it's time to find that power connector. Here I found it.
Connector, as well as two 8-pin power connectors for our CPU. Note that the CPU 8-pin power block can sometimes split into two.
8-pin, I mean, I have an 8-pin here. Oh no, oh, they're labeled. Yeah. Okay, so my cables are also labeled. The ones that we need that are labeled as CPU, so that's good.
And there are some motherboards that only have a 4-pin connector for additional CPU power. Thankfully, our CPU plugs are labeled with CPU on the CPU side, and they also have PSU labeled on the other side. That's the end that you're supposed to plug into the power supply. And the reason I specifically call it the CPU 8-pin is because there's another 8-pin power that's called PCIe or PCI Express. This is the one that we're going to plug into our video card. And while it's still an 8-pin block, PCI Express is usually 6 plus 2 versus 4 plus 4. And then the shape of the actual connectors there are also keyed, so it's very, very difficult to accidentally plug a CPU connector into a PCIe slot or vice versa. However, it is possible, so you should note that there are two different kinds of 8-pin plugs, and they should be labeled, and that's how to tell the difference between them. So we have two of those for our two 8-pin CPU power connectors on the motherboard, and then because our graphics card wisely uses standard 8-pin PCI Express graphics power connectors instead of the less reliable 12V2x6 connector, we're also going to need two of those for supplemental power for our graphics card. Note that these have one plug on the power, the less reliable pin plugs, and they should be labeled, and that's how to tell the difference between them. So we have two of those for our two 8-pin CPU power connectors on the motherboard, and then because our graphics card wisely uses standard 8-pin PCI Express graphics power connectors instead of the less reliable 12V2x6 connector, we're also going to need two of those for supplemental.
So we need two PCIe connectors. This is another CPU connector. Well, we already got one for our CPU, so. PCIe and another PCIe. This is not a PCIe cable. Here we go, another PCIe cable. Okay, nice. We have everything now. motherboard cable. So yeah.
Metal power for our graphics card. Note that these have one plug on the power supply side and then two daisy chain connectors on the other end. We could plug both of these into the graphics card and it would work probably just fine. But if I have the option to have a dedicated plug for each connector on the graphics card, I will definitely go with that. So I'm going to be using both of these cables and we just won't use the extra daisy chain one. We'll hang that off and tie it up. So we'll just plug all these in on the power supply side. They have little snaps. Plug each plug in all the way until they snap. Makes a little.
Okay. Let's see. We have power supply cable right here. This is where you can really mess things up, and you gotta be careful here. Power supply cable. Let's untie that.
They have little snaps. We could plug both of these into the graphics card and it would work probably just fine. But if I have the option to have a dedicated plug for each connector on the graphics card, I will definitely go with that. So I'm going to be using both of these cables and we just won't use the extra daisy chain one. We'll hang that off and tie it up. So we'll just plug all these in on the power supply side. They have little snaps. You should plug each plug in all the way until they snap. Makes a little clicky sound.
Okay. So. We'll go through this whole thing here. I think it's this one right here, right? There's no labels on it, so yeah. Oh wait, but it can't be in there, so it has to be the other one in that case. Oh right, I haven't flipped it upside. No, they just going upside down then, I guess. Okay. I want to go in. Okay, turn it on. Oh, wait a minute, it's not upside down, it just does it on both sides. There we have the click. Okay. You have to push out. There we go, we heard the click. So that it's connected now. So yeah, let's see if we have some other cables to plug in as well. This being the PCIe cable, but we're gonna start with our CPU cable. Let me get it untied. Ooh, they're braid. They feel like they're braided cables. I think they're braided cables. It's cool. So. CPU/PCIe. Okay, that's probably how we should put our CPU cables in.
Like that. Then And these connectors up here are for both the PCI Express and the CPU, since these are really just 12-volt wire connections. Two for
One second, I need to figure out something.
the CPU.
Okay, it's just the one on Reddit that does not say CPU on it. That's all I really care about. So, if we grab this cable, I want to get the Type 4 cable in there. Click. Nice.
And two for PCI.
Let's do this. Oh, it did make a click. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. CPU cable in. Now it's on the GPU cables that I threw over there, I think. Let's see. This is a completely different cable. We do not need these up. We get SATA cables, and these cables we don't need these up. Replace this with our PCI cables now. Okay, let's see another one. go. Click. Try differently. Okay. I think we're probably gonna be fine though. Hard to click though. Okay, I mean, I think they're all connected. I'm gonna put this cable in though. There we go, have to click. So all the cables are in now, I think.
Express. For a lot of builds, those are the only connectors that we will need, but in our build, we have a serial ATA S2 for the CPU and 2 for PC. Up here are for both the PCI Express and the CPU, since these are really just 12-volt wire connections. 2 for the CPU.
Oh, we need 2 for the CPU? Well. Okay, then. I guess we're gonna go ahead and get another one in here. I'll cable management. Plug one of them out so I can put it next to the CPU one. We have another PCI cable here. There's one right here, but that's another of those older cables. Stash over here. Here I found extra CPU. That's good. I did. Okay, click right. It's just not as easy to hear all this. Wow. Okay. I mean, could try with the other connectors just to be sure. Oh, let's continue now.
And 2 for PCI Express. For For a lot of builds, those are the only connectors that we will need, but in our build we have a serial ATA SSD, so that longer connector on this drive does need to plug into the power supply to provide power. This is an L-shaped connector. The plug has an L shape to it as well. So it'll just plug in like so. We're probably going to unplug this and then plug it back in after we mount the SSD in the case. And while we're here, I might as well show you a serial ATA data cable. That's the other shorter connector there, also L-shaped. Serial ATA data cables like this will come with your motherboard. Sometimes they have a 90-degree connector on one end, which can be convenient depending on the orientation of your motherboard connectors or the SSD in your case. But again, just make sure you're lining up that L shape to connect that, and it will also often have a little clasp that snaps into place. The other end of this routes over to your motherboard and plugs into one of the serial ATA data headers on that. Which again, we're going to unplug and replug after we install everything. So one last modular connector here on the power supply side for our serial ATA power. And then I also recommend checking your case's internals because some cases have a fan controller or something of that nature that also needs supplemental power, which might have a serial ATA power plug like this, or a slightly older style Molex plug like this one. Fortunately, most power supplies will still ship with at least one cable that has this type of connector if you need it. I'm going to skip this next step for the sake of
It doesn't just not show let me go look up the specifications of it again. Oh, pretty cool. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. CPU fan, pump fan. We don't have a pump, so I imagine it won't work. Wait, no, these are CPU fan connectors. So they're not control connectors here. Which motherboard I bought again. I just want to make sure it's not the max version. Nope, it's not the max version, so we should be good. I can't really find anything about it really, so I don't think it has one. It says it has one, but I mean that's the CPU power and motherboard power. Job tool. I don't see any job here mentioned in the manual, so I don't know. If it had one, it would be mentioned in the manual. It mentions all of the other connectors and other parts of the components. I don't think it has one. Maybe the other ones do. Maybe the like more expensive ones do, but the cheaper ones don't. Oh, it's not important really. I don't think it matters that much. So we don't really care about that to begin with.
Brevity in this video, but if you're building a new system for the first time using all new hardware, it's highly advisable to do an outside of the box test boot before you actually install everything to the case. That way, if you do happen to have any defective components, which is not common but can rarely happen, you'll catch it now versus doing all the installation first and then having to undo a bunch of your work. If you want a full walkthrough on that, check the link in the description and you can look at my previous tutorial, but basically it involves plugging in all the power connectors to the motherboard from connectors on the motherboard, and then because our graphics card wisely uses standard 8-pin PCI Express graphics power connectors instead of the less reliable 12V 2x6 connector, we're also going to need, but in our build we have no hardware. It's highly advisable to do an outside of the.
Give me a second.
The box test boot before you actually install everything to the case. That way, if you do happen to have any defective components, which is not common but can rarely happen, you'll catch it now versus doing all the installation first and then having to undo a bunch of your work. If you want a full walkthrough on that, check the link in the description and you can look at my previous tutorial, but basically it involves plugging in all the power connectors to the motherboard from the power supply. You could optionally install your GPU and route power to that as well and plug in a monitor to that. Or you could just use the video out on your motherboard to connect up a monitor. And all you're really doing is doing an initial boot.
I don't remember like exactly what we did with that. Like, now I don't even know. Oh, let's see. Oh, let's see what we need to do now then. So I guess we need to plug in everything, like, I can test it. I'm just gonna make sure that my CPU actually has Radeon graphics, because I also need to put in the GPU first for output. Yeah. So yeah. GPU Yeah, it comes with integrated graphics, it seems. Give me the specs for it. Tech power up is usually the best side for PC specs. Give me like specs. Okay, please give me specs. Here we go. It will tell me if it has integrated graphics or not. Yeah, integrated graphics, Radeon graphics. So it has integrated graphics. That's good to know. Well, then in that case, I can just plug my secondary monitor directly into the motherboard then.
To make sure you get into the BIOS load screen, reality check that all the hardware is being recognized, and then you can power down and move on to the next step, installing everything into the case. Here's how I recommend unboxing a case. Open up the top, flip the whole thing upside down, and pull these little handles out. So they don't catch on the internal styrofoam, and then lift the box off. You're almost always going to get a static shock on this part. Oh, I said almost. Voila. There's a few reasons I chose this case. For connectors with the cache on top. It is at this point in the build process that you may do a bit of cable management, a time-honored process that involves grabbing some zip ties, finding some loose cables, grouping them up, and cinching them down. This is mainly for aesthetics, so in particular, if you're a new builder, UNC 632 screws, but when in doubt, just use the screws that came with your power supply. And for plugging in cables part 2 power supply edition, a reminder that we have a 24-pin main connector for the motherboard, 2 8-pin power connectors for the CPU that are in blocks of 4, and then 2 more 8-pin blocks that are 6+2s that will plug into the graphics card in just a moment. It can really help to reality check which side the clasp is on as you'll be bending the wires so that that'll line up as you push the wires through and bend them around to go into their plugs. And yes, these 8 pins up in the corner.
Okay, so if we're gonna do a reality check, I'll plug the GPU cables, and I do wonder what this is for. Motherboard. Oh, okay. I guess there's additional cables for the motherboard then that it needs. There we go. Where won't they go in? Oh, it's gonna have to line them up, right?
Handy.
Guess we should probably start with the CPU cables. We're not gonna use the GPU cables right now, so I'm just gonna have to get the CPU. CPU is here, I think. I can check the specs of the motherboard. Okay, I'm just not really smart right now. Because it's plugging in the wrong way. See, it does not go in the wrong way. Only the right way. All connected. Wireless CPU cable is over here. Nope, it's down here. Almost like the okay, I had the click, so it's in now. So let's do out of the box testing. I clean up the bench just so like there's nothing metallic or anything else that'll just like around that could cause short circuits. It's just cables. These screens we don't need either. So the external antenna, then I'll have to plug in, I guess. These metal things I need to throw out. So it's not the other stuff. Success. Alright, everyone. Oh, I think that's the usual plan. Laying on top of everything else. Just having more cables here. Well, I'm gonna go plug in the power supplies on the other side. So. Has a fucking controller thing on it. I'm gonna go ahead and just flip it upside down. Flip it to the other side. Actually, I probably shouldn't have those wires in if I'm gonna do like a quick test. Would that be wise? I'm gonna unplug them just to be sure. It's the bottom ones. We'll plug them in later on again once we've done the test. PCIe, I'm gonna put them over here. And the second PCIe. Second PCIe cable out. Now we can do a proper test boot of the system. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and find my power thing. I'm not which one connects to my PC. No, hang on a minute. I can unplug my phone cable really quickly. On my speaker system, it does shouldn't really matter that much. I have multiple chargers on here. I can just plug up the other charger. Alright. Yeah. No, it's not on yet, so it's not like stuff really to be worried about yet. Then let's go ahead and see like to connect things fully. So now I just need the HDMI cable, plug it into the motherboard. Please hold on, I'm just gonna move it a bit closer so I can put it into the motherboard HDMI cable. Yes, a couple of USB-C cables, that's nice. So we have a display output now. I'm just gonna move some of the other things away right now so we can do the test. Alright, so this is all set up right now. Let's see, before I can do anything more, I really need to like figure out how we're supposed to like turn the PC on.
Hey everyone, today I've got a cool trick to share with you all. We're gonna learn how to turn on our PC without using the case. All you need is a flat screwdriver. But before we start, let's make sure we've got everything set up. Grab your flat screwdriver and make sure you've plugged in both the big 24-pin and the small 8-pin power cables into your motherboard. I'm using an MSI A3 to oil motherboard. But don't worry if yours is different. The small 8-pin power cables into your motherboard. I'm using an MSI A3 to oil motherboard, but don't worry if yours is different. The process is pretty much the same. Now, let's find the power switch pin on the motherboard. These are the little pins that we need to find. Don't worry, they're labeled, so it's easy to spot. Once you found them, take your screwdriver and gently touch both pins at the same time. It's like giving your motherboard a little nudge to wake up your PC. When you want to turn off the computer, just do the same thing again. Touch both pins with the screwdriver, and your PC will shut down peacefully.
How are we gonna find the power pins? I have to go maybe look up the specification again for that. Best. Let's see. Tech power. MSI. Can I get the manual, please? Thank you.
To the box, test boot before you actually install everything to the case. That way, if you do happen to have any defective components, which is not common but can rarely happen, you'll catch it now versus doing all the installation first and then having to undo a bunch of your work. If you want a full walkthrough on that, check the link in the description. System for the first time using all new hardware, it's highly advisable to do an outside of the box test boot before you actually install everything to the case. That way, if you do happen to have any defective components, which is not common but can rarely happen, you'll catch it now versus doing all the installation first and then having to undo a bunch of your work. If you want a full walkthrough on that, check the link in the description and you can look at my previous tutorial, but basically it involves plugging in all the power connectors to the motherboard from the power supply. You could optionally install your GPU and route power to that as well and plug in a monitor to that. Or you could just use the video out on your motherboard to connect up a monitor. And all you're really doing is doing an initial boot to make sure you get into the BIOS load screen, reality check that all the hardware is being recognized, and then you can power down and move on to the next step, installing everything into the case. Here's how I recommend unboxing a case. Open up the top, flip the whole thing upside down, pull these little handles
We're just not gonna do that, I think.
out. The fact that there's a couple different versions, so if you want to go with your own fans that don't have a bunch of RGB, you can do that. It has a tempered glass side panel, which is held on by thumb screws. I do like thumb screws. Sure, it's available at paulshardware.net. And it's got a very standard layout for an ATX case. So as I'm making video, this should align with a lot of cases on the market in terms of where the motherboard is at the back of the case. The power supply goes in the bottom little basement area down here. That gives you lots of room up here for the air to push back and flow through. It's wide enough to accommodate large, tall air coolers like we're using today. It has dust covers located throughout the case to help prevent it from filling with dust, and you can pop these off and clean them from time to time like we always do regularly. We also have some nice future-looking features that maybe could be good for upgrades or swapping to a different cooler. An all-in-one liquid cooler, for example, is not something that I always recommend because it adds a lot of expense and potential points of failure to a build, but they do cool better than air coolers. So if you're going for a high core count CPU like a 9950X3D, for example, you could still accommodate a 240 or even a 360 radiator at the top of this case. It even has cutouts at the back of the motherboard tray for compatibility with some of the newer motherboards that have the connectors on the back side of the motherboard instead of the front side. So a lot of broad compatibility for this case. And again, when you have that, along with a pretty aggressive price, those are the kinds of PC parts that I really like to recommend to people. First thing you'll want to do is remove the side panels so we can access the interior. And down here,
Alright, let's actually go and do it, I guess. I'm gonna bring it up here and I'm gonna put my build to the side for now. Let's unplug the PSU and Yeah, I guess we're not gonna do a test because I got to do it. I'm going to get the type 4. No, it's so good. I think we're good now. So, yeah, I'm just gonna move all of this to the side now, I guess. Then we're gonna continue to the next bit. Get my cables. I can't put it on top of the cables. Okay. I'll grab the case. We're gonna remove the side panel first. The other side panel. Yes, the other one. Right. There we go. Well, there we go. Just gonna put that here for now. The dust filter. Let's go up here now. Cool it.
At the bottom we have a box of accessories. Our case came with a pack of accessories, some zip ties, they're very helpful for cable management in the future. And then we have screws. Note that most DIY PCs actually have two screw thread standards. There's the finer thread that's here on the right, and there is the rougher or coarser thread that's here on the left. The ones on the left, which look like they have more of a coarse thread, are UNC 632, which is an imperial standard, and the one on the right is M3, which is a metric standard. Most of the time M3 is used for stuff like mounting SSDs, whereas UNC 632 is more commonly used for mounting your power supply. But what we're concerned about right now is the standoffs that ship with the case. Our case has standoffs pre-installed. There are typically 9 for a standard ATX motherboard. But it varies from case to case whether the standoffs use 632 or M3. The best way to verify this is to just check, and I've checked and I've verified that our standoffs in this case use M3. So to install our motherboard, first we double check that we have 9 standoffs installed. It's also helpful if these are
7, 8, 9. We have 9. Yep, we have 9.
are screwed in pretty tight because you don't want them to unscrew if you ever need to unmount your motherboard. Sometimes you get a little hex nut in the accessories and you can't use that to tighten any of these if they're loose. The next step would be to install your motherboard's I/O shield if it has one. If it's not pre-mounted like ours, this pops into this little rectangle at the back. You should flip it around so it aligns with your motherboard's I/O. Try to be careful because these cheaper all-metal ones can have sharp edges, and I usually recommend using the butt end of a screwdriver to pop it into place. Of course, our motherboard doesn't need this. So I'm just going to pop it in by hand. We should be careful with our motherboard assembly, but do note that since the heatsink fan is mounted pretty securely, as long as we're careful, we can use that as sort of a gripping point. And then I'm just going to lower the motherboard down very carefully, very slowly, shift it over to align the I/O.
Okay. Maybe grab this. You put it on everything here. Because we're not only going to use it right now. These cables are that awful to unplug. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Give me a second. Get the damn power supply cable out. Oh damn. Motherboard cable out. Ah, I got it out there. Okay. Now we can insert it to where the I/O's out should be, which should be here. Like this. Some cables to look around.
And that little pop there was the motherboard sitting down and resting on a couple of these standoffs that they have, which have little ridges that pop up that sort of holds it in place. So the motherboard is now where it should be, and I can look and see that all my screw holes are aligned. And after that,
Okay, let's see. Try how to align the thing here. You know? Oh well, guess I'll end the stream for now until I get it mounted up. Then I'll come back. Bye for now.